If you have come across this writing, let me share one thing with complete conviction. It is not the computer program or a chance event. It is the whole world answering the question your spirit quietly asked. There, in that quiet space of your heart where you began to feel unsure, there is something you absolutely needed to hear today. Right at this moment, before your uncertainty becomes acceptance. I know you have been quiet. I know you have moved forward as if everything was finished, attempting to tell yourself you have moved on. Yet deep inside you, there is a question that worries you, a doubt that steals your inner calm. And this question about the future of this bond can only be answered by the bigger plan. The answer reaches you now with a clarity you cannot overlook anymore. Stop thinking that you are overstating your feelings. You are not imagining this strong emotion. You do not love without result, nor are you the only one who loves. The connection that joins you with this individual is genuine, a bond not created by the mind but by the spirit. It is not a brief feeling but a deep significance. The main message you must keep within your heart is this: today the world confirms that you must not stop believing. You are standing on the verge of a clear event that has been arranged for both of you for a long time. You have no idea how much power is working behind the scenes for your benefit. That sense that something is about to change is not made up. The lasting nature of this story within you, the fact that their name stays in your thoughts and that your heart keeps going back to them, is not a sign of need or obsession. It is a true signal. It is a feeling that cannot be simply invented, but belongs to a higher reason that neither distance, nor time, nor lack of talk can destroy. Therefore, the first big step today is this: stop seeing space between you as a failure. In truth, physical distance is simply an illusion, because the energy connection between you is more active than ever. Your spirit is constantly connected with theirs. You are linked by an unseen thread. The feeling of missing something you have is the reflection of the other person who feels that you are not there. That sense of not being there is the tool that fate uses. This person keeps your name deep inside. Even if they pull away or hide behind their worries, the world sees past what people try to conceal. So do not let go of what came into your life with such a powerful purpose. This love is not a passing wish. It is something that comes from a much more spiritual and holy place. In the moments ahead, you will recognize the first clear physical proof that their spirit is reaching out to you energetically right now. But to understand it, you must first understand what is happening in the hidden world. The answer for this story to go on is not in what you do on the outside, but in your inner certainty. Stay firm, not from wishing something would happen immediately, but from deep faith that what is meant for you will not go away, and what fate has joined cannot be broken. Trust your inner feeling, that sense that tells you the love is still there. It is the only truth you require right now. Understand that there is someone who truly cares for you, someone who thinks about you more often than they let on, and this is just the start. If you are ready to make this knowing a part of your life, then leave a heart in the comments. And now that you have recognized the truth of your inner knowing, it is important to move from doubt to real understanding, to a knowledge of the unseen reality that surrounds you. Despite the quiet and the space between you, you are not moving alone. The strength of emotion you feel is not a lie, but a truth planted within you. If the world has brought you together, allowed your paths to cross, and put in you a strong belief you cannot deny, then it is because this purpose is bigger than human thinking. Perhaps you have felt that this bond demands more than you receive, or that you are holding on to something that seems to be fading away. That is a false way of seeing things. The truth is, you are being guided, and the world would not put a love of this size in your heart, only to leave you without a direction. When your heart keeps returning to the same place, it is not because your mind tricks you, but because there is a bond that does not come from a sudden urge, but directly from the spirit. This feeling is real, and this purpose cannot be ruined by quiet or distance. The real question is, why does this story still exist within you? Why does their name not disappear? Why does this connection not break? The answer is simple: because it is more alive than you think. What belongs to you on an energy level cannot vanish. What fate has joined cannot be broken by disagreements or quiet times. Therefore, this feeling within you that refuses to forget is not weakness. It is your spirit confirming that this love is yours. There is a deep, almost impossible to cross difference between what your eyes see and what your spirit feels. What your eyes see is only the surface, a person who seems far away, cold, or not caring. But the world tells you, do not be fooled by this surface. Inside this person holds feelings that know your name. Love of this type does not always show itself in a clear way. Sometimes it hides, stops itself, or keeps itself safe. Out of fear of losing everything, this person thinks of you much more often than they would ever say. They feel your absence, your energy, your silence. They notice when your name is mentioned, when they recall a talk, or when they look at a picture they cannot bring themselves to delete. They feel an empty space they cannot explain. And even if you think they have moved on, they have not. If you think you mean nothing to them, you do not. If you think they have forgotten you, they have not. Some feelings come back, some memories cause pain, and certain signs follow them. There are moments when they stop in the middle of the day just to think about you. The world has seen all of these moments. But let us look at something real. How can you know that this connection is truly working right now? If the person feels you are not there, how does it show up in your life, in your body? The first clear sign that this connection is active is emotional mind reading. The person is not absent because they do not love you, but because they do not know how to handle how strong their feelings are. Some spirits love so deeply that they strangely become afraid, stop, or briefly step back in order to breathe again. So while you ask why everything seems to have stopped, the world shows you that truly nothing has stopped. Instead, the feelings of this person are moving more strongly than ever, but only in secret inside, in the place where you cannot see them, but where fate is already working. This inner movement has a direct effect on your energy and shows itself through signs you wrongly think are stress or coincidence. When this person thinks of you strongly, their energy travels through the thread of the spirit and reaches you. It can appear as sudden sadness or unexplained sorrow without any clear reason in your daily life. It is the hurt of their wanting to be with you, the echo of their regret that enters your emotional space. You believe it is your sadness, but in truth, it is theirs. Another common sign is a sudden memory you cannot avoid. In the most unexpected times, their face or a shared moment appears in your mind with such clarity that you pause. That is not a chance event. It is the world showing you what your inner feeling has known for a long time. The connection is not broken. In their heart, you are more present than you think. It is their spirit sending this thought to you. This connection can also be felt physically through an unexplained warmth or a light burning feeling in your face or chest, exactly in the moments when they think of you with care or longing. Then the energy of their love reaches you. When they are full of fear and pull back inside, you may feel a sudden coldness or an empty feeling in your stomach as if your energy had briefly been taken away. Another very specific sign is the start of music. You suddenly hear a song you once shared or a new tune that makes you think of them. This is not a chance event. It is the world using sound as a bridge to remind you that the connection is alive and that this person feels it strongly. When they hear your name and something stirs within them, that feeling travels to you and sounds inside you. There are nights when they think of you before they go to sleep, and days when a memory of you tightens their chest. Even when they stay quiet to seem strong, the world sees the truth they cannot speak. Therefore, if your inner feeling has been stronger than ever lately, and you feel that something is shifting on the spiritual level, even on days when you decided to let go, then listen to that feeling. It is not a sign of being overly dependent or obsessed, but of clarity. The world shows you through small signs that this love still lives, that unseen threads connect your hearts and that thoughts travel without words. The love this person feels for you cannot simply be turned off. It is a love that fights against itself, that tries to understand what cannot be understood, to fight what cannot be fought. Your presence has left a mark on their spirit so deep that they cannot even admit it to themselves, and that is exactly why you must not give up. Now we have recognized that your feeling is not made up, but a truth confirmed by the energy moving between you. Yet the question that must be asked is, why is this bond so lasting that neither time nor distance can erase it? The answer is in the idea of the larger plan. What is called a soul agreement on a spiritual level. You must understand that this connection is no accident. It was never just a brief meeting or passing interest that disappears at the first problem. This connection is the result of a bigger plan, a spirit promise made on a higher level long before you met in this physical world. It is a promise of growing, waking up, and having a shared purpose. When two spirits are joined by the plan of fate, the energy does not allow a complete ending until the lesson or purpose of that meeting is finished. That is why all attempts by both sides to let go or forget are pointless. And that is the sure proof that this is a true connection. What is human can break. What is meant to be resists. The world would never allow a key part of your spiritual growing to be lost just because one of you became afraid. The love you feel for this person is not a feeling that can be destroyed by distance. It does not come from a human choice, but from a higher one. The reason their name does not leave your thoughts despite all efforts is because your spirit respects this promise. It is like an energy point tying you to this truth. When the connection stays, when the memory keeps feeling strong, it is because the world is constantly showing you the realness of this bond. It is how fate tells you to stay calm. This process belongs to me. I guide the timing. There is something important to understand about the plan of fate. Within it, there is no confusion, only necessary breaks. The world would never put you in a situation where your heart is hurt without a reason. If there is quiet now, it is not the end. It is an energy time of putting things back in order. Fate is working on the other person, so they may come back to you stronger, complete, and more certain. It does not want you to receive someone who is only half ready, nor does it want you to stay worried and anxious. That is why the bond does not break. It stretches and relaxes, but the core of the connection remains, making sure that you will find each other again at the right time. What seems to you like an endless burden is truly exactly the time the other person needs to fix their issues and fulfill this soul promise with the necessary maturity. The quiet that hurts and confuses you is not a lack of caring, quite the opposite. On an energy level, it is too much to handle. To understand why this person has stepped back, we must look at the reason for the quiet and what is happening inside them. This person is feeling an emotional strength they do not know how to manage. You, through your sensitivity and spiritual connection, have the tools to understand how deep this bond is. They, however, have not yet reached that level in their growth. The size of this love, the power of this connection, and the certainty that you are the person they have been seeking have caused a strong energy reaction within them. Their quiet is a sign of a deep fear of being vulnerable. Like a wild animal that hides when hurt, they have pulled back into themselves to tend to their pain, to understand, to protect themselves from something they see as too powerful. This break is their attempt to make sense of something that makes no sense. They believe that distance, quiet, and ignoring the connection could lessen the strength and give them back control over their emotions. But the world tells you this behavior is a misunderstanding, not a sign of not loving you. Quiet is the sound of their fear. And this fear is so big because the connection with you is the truest and deepest thing they have ever felt. They are not afraid of you, but of the power of their own feelings. And they worry that if they give in completely, the pain of a possible loss would be too much. So they prefer to step back before the connection gets even stronger. Inside, they are now fighting against their own feelings, their human self, the hurt voice that says, "Protect yourself, keep your space. Don't trust this wonderful thing," and their spirit, the voice that calls your name and longs for your nearness. Quiet is the fighting ground where this battle is happening. Yet the world is not doing nothing. Within this quiet, a powerful movement is forming that the person cannot avoid facing. Fate creates situations that constantly remind them of what they have lost or put on hold. The absence of your energy feels to them like a painful emptiness that nothing and no one can fill. Every try to fill this empty space with things to do, other people, or other things only makes them feel more clearly how strong this connection was and still is. Therefore, when you feel tempted to think their quiet means a lack of love or not caring, stop. Quiet is proof of their inner struggle. It is the sign of a heart being urged by the world to fix old hurts before it can meet you in the way you deserve. To fix the connection and allow fate to finish its purpose, you must understand what they are fighting against. Their distance and quiet are not actions of not loving, but signs of a protective wall built over many years. A wall that the world is now breaking down piece by piece. This wall is the strongest thing stopping them from moving forward. Yet the love you show, so great, so clean, so accepting, acts as a mirror of their own inner goodness. For spirits that have been hurt and betrayed in the past, it can be deeply scary to see themselves in such a bright light. In those moments, the self's protective wall reacts without thinking, trying to keep them safe from a pain that is long gone but still feared by their emotional memory. The true source of their fear is not in the future, but in the past, in the worry that the strength of this connection could end like past experiences in disappointment, loss, or being left alone. That is why the world is guiding them through a deep inner change, a kind of dark time for the spirit in which they are forced to face their fears, old hurts, and patterns that are not finished. This time of quiet and seeming loneliness is needed for them to see their own hidden issues, fix their wounds, and let go of the burdens of the past. The world is taking away their ability to run away, making them face themselves and see the truth of their feelings. This darkness is not a bad thing, but a cleansing, a process that leads them to remove old beliefs and ways of protecting themselves bit by bit. When they return, it should not be out of need, but from being complete inside. You are both a healer and a test for them, a medicine and an exception. Their protective self fights, but their spirit knows that the love coming from you is too strong to keep living in an untrue way. Fate shows them clearly that no protective system and no control can stand against the power of a connection born from a higher purpose. This time of being apart, however, is not just a process for one person, because while the world works on their fears, it also fixes yours. You are learning to love without losing who you are, to stay calm without depending on their presence, and to trust even when you see no clear proof. Fate is shaping both of you, them to become braver, you to become more at peace. All of this leads to a key moment. The world has shown you that being together again is part of the larger plan, but the speed with which it happens depends on how strong your belief is. Doubt slows things down, while certainty speeds it up. Every sign of need, fear, or impatience sends the energy message that you are not yet ready to receive what belongs to you. But when you rest in certainty, this energy becomes strongly attractive. It brings things to you without forcing. Therefore, speak your belief, for words hold creative power. When you state with complete conviction, "My spirit trusts in the coming true of this fate," you send a clear message to the world. This action of trust is not just a habit, but a resetting of your inner energy. You break the chains of doubt and open the door to things becoming real. From this moment on, your job is not waiting without doing anything, but a thoughtful release. The rule of magnetic letting go teaches you that attraction comes from being calm. Those who chase, push things away. Those who trust, attract. If you try to force the connection through fear, control, or worry, you unconsciously create a wall that stops the energy. But when you let go, you stay open. Letting go does not mean giving up on love. It means trusting that it will find its way back to you freely, grown up, and at the right time. To trust means to fully believe that the world, which has already put love in your life, knows better than you when and how you are meant to be together again. To truly use this rule, you must stop chasing the other person energetically, chasing with energy. does not only happen through actions, but through thoughts, hopes, and focusing all your emotion. Every time you look at their social media, wait impatiently for a message, or focus all your energy on what they are or are not doing, you move your power into a feeling of something missing and uncertainty. The spiritual practice of stepping back asks you to bring your energy back to your own core, into your life, your growth, your peace. When you begin to raise your inner feeling without needing outside approval, you become a magnet. The world sees you at peace, confident in your path, shining in your own energy. This feeling sends a clear message. I am complete. I have everything I need, and what belongs to me will find me without effort. This inner state is what the other spirit feels when in its dark time it wants light. Your balance creates a magnetic pull that naturally draws them back. Once you stop sending out pressure and fear, the true connection of the soul begins to work, pure, free of resistance. They do not return out of pity or control, but because your energy has become so clear and strong that their spirit has no choice but to join with yours again. That is the heart of magnetic letting go, releasing in order to attract. But to truly understand why the world chose this path, we must grasp why this separation was needed. If the connection is so deep and important, why did the world allow this painful break? Because this separation is not a punishment, but part of the plan, an activation of fate. The break is training, a preparation so that this love can exist in its real form. The strength of your connection was so great that without healing and understanding, it would have fallen apart under the weight of its own lack of maturity. The first hidden reason for this separation is the growing up of the bond. When you met, both of you acted from old ways of doing things, from fear, being overly dependent, or the need for approval. The world knew that this dynamic would make the purity of your love unclear, so it stepped in to create space for understanding. This time of being alone was a kind of spiritual safe place. You learn to love yourself without needing their attention while they were forced to face their fears without the safe place of your closeness. The second reason for this break is change. Fate does not want a repeat of the past, but a new connection, more aware, deeper, and more steady. The pain of this break is the cost of growing. Through not having them, both of you come to understand the true value of what exists between you. The other person's spirit recognizes that you are unique, that no other connection will ever feel as complete because no other carries the same soul promise. That is why the world keeps creating situations that remind them of you. Moments when they feel the empty space of your energy and realize they have moved away from their true path. This break is truly an act of pure love from the world. A higher power says, I will protect this connection until both are ready. I will separate you to heal you so you may return complete, aware, and forever. The pain you feel now is not forever, but the understanding born from it is lasting. The love that returns will be different from any you have had before because it will be born from awareness, not need. Now that magnetic letting go has started the energy moving, and the dark time of the other spirit has reached its highest point. The moment begins when your belief takes physical form. The world has promised you that this separation is only for a while, and now it is time to see the signs confirming that the return is very close. The first and clearest of these signs is the increase in true inner mind reading. These are no longer unclear memories or faint longing, but clear, strong thoughts appearing in quiet moments, waves of warmth, happiness, or tenderness suddenly covering you. They are proof that your spirits are already talking again. What you feel now are the emotions of the other person, no longer fighting, but flowing. Their heart starts to accept the truth of feeling, and the moment they allow it, their energy reaches your space directly. Pay attention to the time. If you find yourself awake at the same time each night, it may be the time when their spirit is most active, or when a memory touches them so deeply that it wakes them from sleep. Another clear sign is the repeating of certain numbers. The world speaks through things happening at the same time, and numbers are one of its most exact languages. If you suddenly see the same numbers over and over, 111 for spiritual order, 222 for balance, and two sides, 777 for spiritual reward, it is not a chance event. These patterns are how the world whispers. The right time is getting closer. The path is opening. They are physical confirmations that the unseen work is already showing results. A third powerful sign is the dropping of fear and the win over absence. The other person reaches the point where the pain of being apart is greater than the fear of being close. That is the moment fate has prepared. The point where running away no longer makes sense. The empty feeling your magnetic release has left becomes too much for them. Before they could distract themselves, hide behind walls, but the world leaves them no escape. Worry, not being able to sleep, and the feeling of finding no peace without you become their reason for action. When their heart realizes that life without you is harder than the risk of loving you again, the quiet breaks. Then comes the fourth and final stage, sudden certainty. When they return, it will not be with doubt or half-truths. The dark time of their spirit has burned away the mixed feelings. You will feel it in their voice, their look, and their actions. Clarity, determination, and giving back. This coming together will not be half-hearted, but a clear, conscious event. The world did not allow the separation to make you fall again, but to prepare you for a new start, mature, clear, healed. The reunion is sure because it no longer depends on your actions, but on the finishing of their inner healing process. Watch for the signs. They are proof that your inner feeling was correct. What you feel is not made up, but certain. The world has acted, and what belongs to you is already on its way, closer than you think. You have been guided from doubt to clarity. Now you know the truth. It is not an obsession, but a bond of fate. The quiet was not a lack of caring, but healing. The waiting was not a punishment, but an act of universal love to protect the purity of this connection. Your last job is to keep your inner calm and lift your energy. Do not wait doing nothing. Live, grow, create, love your life. When this person returns, let them see you in your full power, calm, shining, free. Not as someone who needs them, but as someone ready to truly love. Fate has promised. What the world joins will never be broken. There may be breaks, distances, but the unseen thread between two spirits does not break. Sooner or later, they will be guided back to you, not by your begging, but by the strong natural pull of fate. The empty space you left within them constantly reminds them where their true home is. And when they return, it will not be the same love. It will be a grown-up, conscious love, a love that has passed the test of quiet and distance. Receive them with good sense. Hold them with the strength you have built in this time. Do not let doubt one day ruin the certainty of your fate. Do not give up now when you are standing on the edge of the wonderful event. Trust the process you cannot see. Trust the perfect timing of the world. Trust that they love you and are finding the courage to return. Your love is real. Your path is true, and the event is sure to happen. Say once more with peace in your heart, my spirit trusts in the coming true of this fate. For what is yours already has your name. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and feel certainty flow through you. What now comes toward you is clarity, movement, and fulfillment. The world never makes mistakes.